my guest will be Raleen Moses from the New York City Department of Correction. Please help me welcome. Hi, Raleen. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Wow.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. So before we start, I'm going to give you some wine, but I wanted to tell you about this wine. This is blue wine. And since the name of the show is When the Blue Comes Off, and I found out about blue wine, I definitely wanted to get it. But what makes this wine so special is that it's actually made by a correctional officer's son. And the name of the wine is Amour Genevieve. I hope I'm saying it right, guys, but it will be in the contact. Anybody can get it, and we're gonna have some today. So, and hopefully when I get enough wine, you'll spill enough tea. Okay, Raleen, so you work for the New York City Department of Corrections. So how long did you work there?
27 years.
27 years.
Long years.
Wow. And when are you currently employed with them?
Oh, no, I retired a little less than 2 years ago.
Okay, and what rank did you retire?
Acting Assistant Chief.
She said chief, guys. Okay, we're talking about a sister here, chief of the department. That's what I'm talking about. So, in that job description, what would you say was, out of your 27 years working for the department, what was the best experience that you would say that you had? While I sip on my wine.
Okay. The best experience I had, I think it was when I became, I'm going to say when I became a warden. I had many experiences, but when I became the warden, it was the best experience. If we're just talking about overall experience, that was my best rank and my best experience because I was able to make a difference where I wasn't really caught in sticking to the rules, where you could just go outside of that box for people, and you don't have to, because a lot of the rules are like cookie cutter rules, but when you're the warden, you're able to like go outside the box and give people more or see things more clearly because you have more information.
Right. So it gives you a broader scope.
Broader scope, yeah, and an ability, a broader scope, a broader ability, because at the end of the day, no matter what rank you are, the warden is the one who's gonna, is gonna be held responsible. Okay. So you're playing by my rules at that point. So.
I love it. A woman in power. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So now, since you would say that overall was a great experience for you, what would you say it wasn't such a great experience for you?
Something that wasn't a great experience to me is when policy started changing. And change is good many times, but sometimes it wasn't well thought out. And so I had to give orders to people, orders that I didn't believe in, and ask people to do things that I wouldn't do, but it was to save their jobs. So that was most difficult, to see people, to ask people to do things that it was difficult to ask them to do.
So it wasn't something that was genuinely, like, a lot of times, like, I know people will say, oh my God, this warden or this supervisor, she's riding me, she's making me do something, but we as subordinates don't necessarily see the broader scope and the bigger picture of why the supervisor is saying to do this or giving you that instruction, because a lot of times, like you said, even in my past rank as a captain, like, to save some officers from a write-up, like, listen, this is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna take this, you're gonna take this, so you don't get this.
Absolutely.
But they don't understand.
Yeah, so they internalize it. They don't see the big picture, and sometimes that big picture doesn't fit into our world, right? It's really unacceptable, certain things, and I would say like turning on the cheek when somebody's throwing feces or urine or spitting at you. That's a lot to ask for somebody to do, and to suppress those feelings that you feel when you're being violated like that. And I was asking people to do that, and I don't, and I was wondering if I was asked to do that, would I be able to do that? Because at the end of the day, these are human beings. Yes, they do have jobs to do, but you still have feelings that you're operating from, and emotions. So you're operating from your brain, where you know that this is going to happen, but you're operating from your heart your soul and your upbringing, that you know this is so wrong.
Right.
And I had to ask them, you know, to turn the other cheek. And when they did it, you know, it became a problem, and it's something that I held. It was a difficult decision for me to make.
So that's you know, it's not really to say unfortunate. It's an unfortunate circumstance. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, when the policy comes into play, and you being in a high-ranking position, it's like you're caught. And being a person who knows, like you said, because now you're personalizing. Like, if somebody told me to do that,
Right.
could I do that? And you say to yourself, hell no.
With
But
the
you
big
know,
H.
but you know you have to give
And the
this order.
repercussions were so great. You know, I mean, because you stand to lose everything because you operated outside of your what you know.
Your
Right.
mental instead of emotional.
Yeah, when you operating from what you know, you have all these conflicts inside. It's really difficult to give that advice or that suggestion or that order. And then when the person reacts, you know the repercussions behind that is, listen, you did something you were told you couldn't do. You know, so.
Now, you did mention a little bit of difficulty in the feces, right? So feces. So have you ever been physically assaulted in your 27 years with the department?
I'm gonna say absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm gonna say absolutely not, and it's because I came from a different era. Which, that era, it because of my upbringing, I'm from the hood, can I say?
Yeah.
And so I carried myself where I respected the inmates, I respected the staff, but I had to let them know, this is where I'm doing this is my job. And I believe when you come in from a place of respect, that I didn't get disrespected. Now, I'm not gonna tell you, we didn't come very close.
Right.
And in fact, one of my last decision-making processes was when an inmate had told me if I took another picture of him that he was gonna spit in my face, and that's when all of the things I had told my officers came into play, and I was like,
Because you knew if he was to spit in your face.
well, I actually told him what was gonna happen, and it was caught on film, and so, you know, I'm glad he made the right decision, because I'm not sure how far this would have went, you know,
Right.
because I had basically said, I was prepared. I just thought that was like the worst thing in the world. I'm here to do a job, you know, and I've had family members, a great number of them, that went through the system, and I always said to them, when you out there doing what you do, I'm not bothering you, this is what I do, and you need to respect that, and that's how I felt about it. This is where I'm just doing what I need to do and what I'm here to do, and I'm not taking anything from you. Whatever you're supposed to have, I'm gonna give you, but when it becomes to the point where you're disrespectful or you violate me, so that was like one of my last deciding factors.
Okay. So,
Yes, so.
okay. So now, with that being said, let me backtrack. Would you advise, do you regret taking the job?
I don't regret taking the job, and then there's a lot of, because there was a lot of reasons for me to take the job. I grew up in very humble beginnings, to say the very least. You know, my options were very few, and I needed to take care of myself. I needed to go to school, and I wanted all of these things, and I didn't have the resources for it. So the job was a blessing for me, right? And it allowed me, because I've gotten several college degrees since then, and I've had several successes because of it. And it also allowed me to be who I was, like able to talk to people and be effective to people and be a motivator to people and a leader to people. So all the things that I would have wanted to do, I was able to do in the Department of Correction. I help people, you know, I help people on both sides of the gate, and on one side of the gate, and we all on one side of the gate. And I know I was a meaningful person, like I made a difference to people. And so I love the job. I love the job. I love the people in the job, but the job has changed.
So, what advice would you give to females that's oncoming onto the job?
Well, right now, I actually teach cadets and people who are on, like, one of the classes I teach is like a job that, a class that is needed for your degree.
I'll drink some wine, Mother. You have not touched this blue wine yet. Just try. It's midday. Like, it's okay. Even if it's like 8 o'clock,
I'm trying.
drink
I'm
it.
gonna try.
Try it.
Y'all know this goes against everything.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It is wine. It's tasty. It is soft. But what was I saying?
The cadets.
The cadets now, I teach them and I speak to them also. So what suggestions I would have to them is know who you are before you get there. One thing I do like is that now there is a cadet program that will give you the choice, because sometimes you come on a job, you don't know what you're getting into.
Okay.
Right? Now this they have a program now that you become a cadet and you do like on the job training, so you get to see.
Is that with correction?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's called the cadets, and they get paid. They're students at John Jay College,
Okay.
and they go to any facility that a few children's facilities, and they are able to observe.
Okay.
And so this gives you an opportunity, because a lot of times we come on a job we didn't know. I mean, you had the opportunity because you had your mother, you had that
Right.
that benefit, but a lot of people just like correction officer, they don't know what it is to be
That
an
they
NCO,
get into.
right? And then you get in there and you're like, oh, you can't make me do this, you can't make me do that, but this is what you signed up for.
Right.
So,
But I think the problem with that is a lot of people don't know exactly what they're signing up for. They say, okay, I'm going to be a correction officer. Okay, what does that mean? I'm just going to be in jail with some inmates. They don't know the ins and outs of the day-to-day that it really takes.
gotcha.
You know what I mean?
And so that's why that program that John Jay started is phenomenal. So you get to choose and see if this is what you want. But what I would tell people who, particularly women, know who you are before you get there, right? If you don't know that you're beautiful, don't find out when you get there.
Hello.
Right? And because you're gonna have a problem, and it actually goes for the men as well, right? But speaking to the females, over my 27 years, I've seen it happen over, and only the names shall change. I've seen, they get influenced by somebody paying them attention, right? Somebody's watching you, your every move. You don't even realize they watch you move your hair. They watch you change they watch your face up. In certain
They
times.
know you gained weight.
Yeah,
they know
all of those things.
Got your nails done.
Yeah, or you wear a certain perfume. So when I was faced with those things, and they would say, "Oh, Miss B, that's a nice perfume you wearing." I go, "Oh, you like it? Yeah, I'm never wearing it again." You understand? Because you always gotta get in front of that.
Well, you have
feeling.
to have, but like you said,
You gotta know who you are.
that comes with self-esteem. When you go in, especially if you're going young, I find that most of the majority of the correctional officers that go in, most of us start at an early age. I started correction when I was 23 years old.
I was 20.
So
I was explaining that.
So if you imagine, if you have no life experience, if you don't have anyone to coach or tell you what life is about, and you've never even had a real relationship.
You were on the job training.
For life.
For a while.
You do it on
until
for life.
Until you figure it out, until you figure some things out, you're gonna make mistakes. But in the interim, while you're learning, know who you are. Know that there's boundaries. Know that there's boundaries.
So now, let me ask you this: has corrections ever played a part in your family life where you had to make some difficult decisions when it comes to the children, your home versus your job?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things is, a few years ago, I'm gonna tell you, when I first came on the job, my mother was killed. I was 6 months on the job, and at that point they told us you're gonna lose your job if you take days off and things. I took the 4 days bereavement. 4 days bereavement because I was just starting the job, and you didn't have the support that you could get now. So here I was having this traumatic experience, and I only could grieve for 4 days, then work doubles. I was like in a pressure pot, just building.
What is it called? Pressure bust pipes.
Pressure bust pipes.
Yeah.
And so when that pipe burst, I was like, I was laid up, and but let me tell you something. The universe has a way of equalizing all things, right? Yes. So that worked out for me. But my main thing that when it affected me the most is my son. He suffered when he was 12 years old, about 4 years ago. He was sick and he was suffering. They thought it wasn't anything, so we took him to the hospital and we found out that he was experiencing heart failure and he was at risk for death. And I was
12?
12 years old, and I was a warden in Manhattan Detention Center, and it was like a lot of pressure on me because they want you, you know, nobody's listening to your sad story.
Right.
So I was running between the hospital and, is it time?
I guess. No, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, it was, I was running between the meetings and back to the hospital, the meetings and back to the hospital, and I really wasn't sure of how to not seem weak and like, I can't make this happen because I'm having trouble home, because to be a woman, they don't want you to have any kind of outside life.
Of course.
No, you can continue.
Oh, they don't want you to have any outside life. Your life, if you're wardens and all that, you belong to the Department of Correction, right? And so here I was, a single mother, one son in the hospital, the other son trying to go back and forth to school, me trying to make every meeting. And for like 5 days, it was like, maybe 7 days, I was torn. I'll be right back. How's he doing? And at meetings, and you know, you don't have the nicest people in the meetings, right? And so one day I was sitting in the car saying, this is crazy. Because guess what? If my son doesn't make it, damn this job, right? Like, I'm not gonna be the same person. So I made up my mind and said, I can't choose. I have to make a choice right now, and it's to be a mother to my child, and to find out and be there for him. And it was difficult. I'll tell you, it was difficult. But when you let it go and the weight is off, you like, let it be what it be, because this is where I need to be.
Right.
This child.
Well, that is so amazing. Like, I don't know, like, thankfully, I didn't really experience something so detrimental, but you know, health is, when your children are sick, even when they just have a fever, you're worried about them. They got an ear infection, you worry about them, and just something so dramatic as heart failure. And then in the rank that you're in, you have to go and be this, you know, nothing can phase you. You have to be looking like, oh, I got this all under control. And inside, you're just like, oh God, is he all right? Did they take the test? You know, whatever had to go on. But you know what? Like you said, the universe has a way of making things come to fruition. And it did for you, because now that you're retired, you have so much going on, and we're just touch, you know, briefly on that really quick.
Okay. Oh, so what do I have going on? I'm a professor at John Jay. I teach law and police science. I also sell real estate in Bergen County in New York, New Jersey, and New York, and what else? I played in a movie with Adam Sandler.
I saw the what was it called?
The trailer?
Not the trailer, the rap party. I think you were
Oh,
the
yes,
rap party.
yes. The Q&A and the review with the premiere party, right?
Did it come out already?
It comes out on Christmas.
Okay, so what's the name of the movie?
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. You guys make sure you go check it out. Comes out Christmas. Uncut Gems. Okay, go ahead.
So I did that. I also did, I was the media coordinator for Aretha Franklin's funeral.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll drink some wine to that.
Yeah, you need to drink to that, because that was amazing, you know. You drink to it, because I don't want to get too toasty.
It's okay. You're going to go on the trailer.
Okay.
And you know that's the next part of this, but we're going to finish talking, so go ahead.
Okay. And so I did that, traveling, doing some investments, you know, with the money I got from being a CEO.
Wasn't that some good money though?
Ooh, it is. I thank you every day. I thank myself for the decision I made 27 years or now 30 years ago almost, because it allows me a life like, your time belongs to you.
Right.
It's nothing like that, and you don't understand it when you're in the throgs of the, you know, trenches. You don't understand it, but when I'm someplace and I'm like, oh, I can stay as long as I want. If that belongs to you, that's amazing. That's an amazing thing, and you can do whatever you want. So that's what I do. I do whatever I want. And now, when my sons leave their homework home or lunch home, I'm like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. I could do that.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's a beautiful
to be
thing.
a mother, to be able to be a mother because you have finally secured the financial part, you know, and that's you know, chasing that money, chasing the paper, you end up missing out on a lot.
You do.
You miss out on a lot. And I tried, Deshaun, I tried so many. I tried to be everything. And I did a good job, because
those boys are phenomenal.
Yeah,
They're
they are great boys. I'm telling you, I get so many compliments, you know, and that's important. The compliments you get when you're not standing over them saying, say thank you. Did you do this? Did you do that? When people come to you and say, them boys are great. And I'm like, thank you. You know, thank you. Because it means something. It means that all my hard work and all of those sacrifices that I made, you know, and it was, when I first retired, my son was like, Mom, you weren't here. I got so upset. I was like, yeah, because if I was here, you wouldn't have anything, you know, so now you have, so, you know, so.
Well, you know, I'm so thankful that you came. This is important to me because I feel like people don't get to hear outside, the real side. They hear, you know, correction officer beat up, they assaulted, they did this, but they don't understand that there is a personal side to the individual. We don't get dressed in our uniform to go to work, to go viciously attack anyone.
Oh.
You know, so that's just a misconception, and I want people to know that we're human, you know, and the great thing about this show, so in case you didn't know, now, after we finish our interview, you're gonna go on the Carter's Diva Glam mobile party.
Okay.
And you're gonna get a little makeover. You're gonna get your face beat. I don't know how much beat, you know, my face was beat today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Watson did my face today.
Okay.
She's on the glam truck today, and we also have Miss Brittany. So they will be out there to do your little face and make you over, give you a little pop, get you a little going.
Do you have Match.com out there too?
Well, listen, honey, I don't know about Match.com. I'm just grateful. I mean, you know, I got my match.
Oh, okay, so
I
I'm
got
still
my match.
looking. You gotta get Match.com out there.
Well, you know, listen.
Talking to the camera.
We talking to the chief right here. We got a money maker, but she ain't coming if you ain't got no money. If you ain't got no money, don't look for her on Match.com.
Okay, but money is not everything.
Oh, see, look at that. See, you had a good, wholesome woman here that is saying, listen, the heart and soul is what matters. But Marlene, thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you for having me.
And we look forward to seeing you after
I'm so
your
proud of
face
you.
is made
I'm so
up.
proud of you, Miss
Thank
Carter.
you so much. And make sure you take your glass
I'm
with you.
taking my glass.
Yes, take your glass.
Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I just wanted to share with you that this video was recorded using my iPhone. I actually had a production team who unfortunately did not do the right thing and record my series in the proper light. There was no audio, and because there's no audio, I could not utilize the footage that they provided. So with that being said, the next go round will be much better. But I felt that these stories were just way too important not to share with you. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.